Well, here we are over on the other side with a brand new ball game. And I think maybe I should put a sacred number on there. I've written one or two of them over the years, and I'll try and do this one. I call it Over There on the Beautiful Shore. They tell of a place that's so far, far away. They say we have pleasures galore. They say we all should be going someday over there on that beautiful shore. Over there on that beautiful, beautiful shore, where they say all your troubles are o'er. They say the streets there are all paved with gold over there on that beautiful shore. We read in the good book about that great place where we don't have to knock on the door. There we'll see the Savior's bright face over there on that beautiful shore. Over there on that beautiful, beautiful shore, where they say all your troubles are o'er. They say the streets there are all paved with gold over there on that beautiful shore. If this is true of that land over there, where we won't have to want any more, we'll just walk the streets of that city so fair over there on that beautiful shore. Over there on that beautiful, beautiful shore, where they say all your troubles are o'er. They say the streets there are all paved with gold over there on that beautiful shore. Over there on that beautiful shore. Well, now here's one. I just got to get this on the tape before I forget it. Just a little ditty. I kind of composed it about 2 or 3 years ago. Eddie Montgomery, he's dropped into Mark's, sold Mark a cow, and it turned out to be a very good cow. Lots of cream, lots of butter. We used to go out and get a pint of cream once in a while. So I couldn't let that go by without making a little song about it. So I'm going to try and do it now. Call it Mark's Little Spotted Cow. Oh, I have a little yarn, I'm going to tell it now. It's a story all about Mark, little spotted cow. Whenever he goes out to milk, the story goes it seems, before he gets back to the house, the milk all turns to cream. This little story started that I'm about to tell, when Eddie he dropped in one night, said he had a cow to sell. Mark thought he would take a chance, so he didn't know just how, so he counted out the money for the little spotted cow. When the neighbors heard the news, they came from far and near. They only had one thing in mind, to the doorstep they did steer. They came with cans and bottles, sometimes they'd nearly round. Everybody wanted cream from the little spotted cow. When it comes to making butter, she really takes the lead. There isn't any shortage with a dozen mouths to feed. You can search the country over till sweat comes on your brow, but you'll never find another that will match that spotted cow. Now as we grow older and we're getting gray, and the little spotted cow, she's gone on her way, there'll be a lot of stories, including then and now, but there'll never be another that will match that spotted cow. There you have it, the little spotted cow. Well, now this one here I composed back in long, I was getting through work. I was working down from Newburgh up through to on the Melville branch there, and we had a place out where we used dinner quite often. They called Shoeing. It got to be quite a spot for us. So I made up this little song where I ended my career. There's a place called Chewin', way out on the hill. Along about December, the winter wind blows shrill. Out among the gorbies, the partridge and the deer, out on the hill at Chewin', where I finished my career. At Newburgh in the morning, we would start our motor car. We head her out toward Chewin', it isn't very far. With Frankie at the throttle, there's nothing there to fear. We were on our way to Chewin', where I finished my career. Sometimes in the winter, when the snow is on the rail, when we head for Chewin', it is a tough old trail. The motor pounds and rattles as she labors up the grade. Once we get to Chewin', we really have it made. When we get near Chewin', the grade gets rather steep. When we get a snowstorm, the snow gets awful deep. We have to push and shovel and try and find the track. Once the ordeal's over, we finally reach the shack. Now when we're out at Chewin', we're happy as can be. There we have a little camp beneath the tall spruce tree. When it comes near lunchtime, we couldn't ask for more. When we see the blue jays and the gorbies round the door, sometimes we get quite chilly when we're out on patrol, especially in the winter when the weather it is cold. We have an open motor car, sometimes we get quite down, but we always head for Chewin', where we have our little camp. Now since my work is ended, my mind keeps wandering back. I think about the times we traveled up and down the track. I labored for the CPR for 28 long years. Then I wound up out at Chewin', where I finished my career. There's where I finished my career. My last day's work was March 21st, 1979. Now here's another little song. It's been quite a while since I made this one up. I call it The Place I Call Home. We took about the country, the cities and the towns. Sometimes we talk to people who say they've been around. There is one location where beauty it is shown, up along St. John Valley, the place I call home. Up along the valley, as pleasant as one can wish, the woodland to hunt in, their streams where one can fish. You can always write a letter, call someone on the phone, up along St. John Valley, the place I call home. Up along the valley you can tremble there at will, in the little village there on the old sawmill. You can hear the whistle blowing, see the smoke come from the stack, and hear the rattle of the freight trains as they pass by on the track. I've been in other places through the years of past and gone. My love for the valley, each day it lingers on. There I am always happy where I am not alone. Up along the St. John Valley, the place I call home. The place I call home. Now this one, I made it up. We were working down around the Heartland area. I worked in the woodstock too at that time, and when Barry Ross, the foreman, wanted some work done in Heartland, extra work, we'd come up and help him. So this day we went up, we had some fencing to do up on the hill. We call it the mountains. They have a spur line goes up to the fertilizer plants there. And we got into a hornet's nest. Some of us got stung, most of us got stung. And we had quite a time there, and I made up a little song about that one. I call that the hornet's nest on the mountain. We'll give this one a try. Sometimes I like to talk about the places I have been. Sometimes even sing a song about it now and then. Now this little story that I'm about to tell, I will do the best I can, though I don't do it well. We went up to work for Barry, we went to help him fence. We started up the mountain where we would all come in. There was George and Pat and Jimmy, and also Freddie Carr. We finally reached the mountain top, it wasn't very far. There was another fellow, his last name is DeLong. I am going to take the time to put him in my song. We had just got started when we hit a hornet's nest. To avoid those little devils, we really did our best. Richard tried to warn me, his words were scarcely said, when a hornet hit me and I run down Jim and Fred. Someone said, where did Jimmy go? And we all saw at a glance, he was halfway down the mountain, taking off his pants. He was quick reacting when the hornet stung. He kept right on prancing while around him they did hum. Now I have watched the circus and I saw the horses prance, but they're no match for Jimmy with a hornet in his pants. When the fun was over, we went back to work once more. We were still laughing at the way that Jimmy tore. Now up on the mountain, in the winter you could freeze. If you're back there in the summer, just watch out for the bees. The hornet's nest on the mountain. I worked up in Rustic Junction back in the early 50s. We boarded at the CPR Hotel. It's gone since that, they've tore it down. And I made up a little song about the CPR Hotel. I'll give this one a try. Up at a Rustic Junction, there was a place where we could eat, and many a time we'd hear them say the cooking can't be beat. Everyone was happy and they got along real well. We all had a wonderful time at the CPR Hotel. There we had our old friend Mike, he always had a grin. Whenever he got his paycheck, he had his quarter gin. He was so awful nervous, if you'd speak to him, he'd yell. It was always good to see old Mike round the CPR Hotel. When it got near dinner time in the lobby we would lurk. The cooks were in the kitchen, busy at their work. When they got dinner ready, they would always ring a bell, and we'd all make for the table at the CPR Hotel. Whenever payday rolled around, they would pay for all the boys. When they came back from the powerhouse, they made quite a noise. While running in and out at night, you could often hear them yell. It was never a place to hang your hat like a CPR hotel. Now they tore the hotel down where we all used to board. The prices we have to pay to eat we really can't afford. Now gone are those good old days when we used to hear that bell and we'd gather round the table at the CPR Hotel. Well, that's the story of the CPR Hotel. Back a few years ago when they were working on the Bricklin, Charlie Russell made up the song, the Bricklin. Well, Charlie and I are pretty good friends, so I had to get back at Charlie a little bit, so I made the answer to the Bricklin. This I call this the answer to Charlie Russell's Bricklin. So I'll give that a little try. We hear a lot of comments about the Bricklin car. We hear people talking no matter where we are. These things seem to happen when something new comes along. Now I am going to start in and sing a little song. Well, they said the Bricklin would be another little wait and see. Hold your horses, Charlie, wrong you may well be. Wait a little longer, give young Malcolm time. You may see the Bricklin rolling off the assembly line. They've made a lot of automobiles back through the years. Some of them were failures, some drew many cheers. Now they have the Bricklin and it is something new. Why don't we sit back for a while and see what they can do? Well, they said the Bricklin would be another little wait and see. Hold your horses, Charlie, wrong you may well be. Wait a little longer, give young Malcolm time. You may see the Bricklin rolling off the assembly line. We all know there's politics mixed up in many things, and from the opposition complaints they seem to bring. The Bricklin's no exception, this we really know. They'll have to take it in their stride and continue on to grow. Well, they said the Bricklin would be another little wait and see. Hold your horses, Charlie, wrong you may well be. Wait a little longer, give young Malcolm time. You may see the Bricklin rolling off the assembly line. Now they said the Edsel went on down the drain, and they said the Rolls Royce did the very same. Now they think the Bricklin's going to join them in the pool. If they'll be patient for a while, they just might get fooled. Well, they said the Bricklin will be another little wait and see. Hold your horses, Charlie, wrong you may well be. Wait a little longer, give young Malcolm time. You may see the Bricklin rolling off the assembly line. Well, there you have it, the answer to Charlie Russell's Bricklin song. And here's another song I composed back in the 50s when I worked in Roostick. Down the old roundhouse there was a place we used to go in, a room, dinner room, and there's a picture on the wall. We used to look at it quite a bit. So I made up the little song. I call that the picture on the wall. There's a little railroad yard at the bottom of a hill, up along St. John's Valley, where the winter wind blows shrill, where the diesels rumble as north and south they go, where the carmen and the section men they wander to and fro. There they have a roundhouse, and the roundhouse isn't all. Inside there's a little room with a picture on the wall. There's something about that picture the boys just can't resist. Now if I was to name them, it would make quite a list. They would start us out in the morning, tell us to carry on. Sometimes half a dozen of us and a foreman called Big John. They'd hand us all a shovel and start us down the track and say, stay away from that roundhouse or we'll be on your back. As soon as we get out of sight, the officials didn't know. We'd sneak around the corner to the roundhouse we would go. We'd all look at that picture and sit back there and sigh and tell a few odd stories as the minutes went ticking by. There was Lawrence and Harold the merchant, they loved to see it snow. Every time a storm came on the snowplow they would go. They'd climb in the snowplow and head off up the line. Now what they liked about it most was all that overtime. We had with us Bill Sisson and also Harold McRae. They would stay there with us and help shovel the snow away. There was little Freddie Grant, Lord bless his little soul. Sometimes his face got awful black when he had to shovel coal. Now Freddie was good-natured and he didn't mind it all. All that he could talk about was that picture on the wall. He'd shovel for a little while and his shovel it would fall, and he would make a beeline for that picture on the wall. We have a good roadmaster, he's around most every day. As long as we keep moving, he don't have much to say. There's one thing for certain, he'd surely fire us all if he should catch us looking at that picture on the wall. Well, he didn't happen to catch us, so some of the boys are still around there yet. Well, that seems to be just about all the tape is left there. I find the biggest trouble with my songs, I can't get anybody to sing them. I used to sing them a little bit years ago, but I guess maybe this old age now is getting me, and I can't seem to do them like I used to. And I never did do them very good anyway. So, since we're just about running out of tape, I'll say so long for now. This is Bill Canam, over and out.